Well, Callum, it's Thursday again. I've not got a big coat on, so the weather must be getting better.
I have to disagree with you there. I think it's freezing, but it looks like we're sitting in basking sunshine. But no, yes.
Let's look back the way. We can't just do that when we win. So the odd occasion that we've lost the game, let's look back the way. What's your thoughts on Morton?
I think for me it was, disappointing that the fact is it's small details, it's little things. For me as a group, how do we defend the free kick? We defend it, we set up wrong. So first of all, those little things in games are massive, and it's try to educate young players. The reasons why we set up a certain way when we go to a three-man wall, who's in the three-man wall, who's in defending the box, because there's little details in that can stop goals, and that was probably the most disappointing thing about the game. That was the first goal, and that was crucial, especially on the pitch like we played on. It was difficult to get any real flow and control in the game. We had obviously a great chance before it, but it's that little details that probably disappoint me the most. And listen, we're going to have to learn from it, learn pretty quick. You need to make sure when we're doing these sort of set plays and we're doing organising things like that, everyone needs to know what they're doing, because ultimately it sometimes has a huge outcome in the game.
I asked Sean Welsh a question on Saturday about what like it is playing in the Championship, and he said it's a bit strange. He said we've been on a great run, but we haven't really got anywhere.
Yeah, I know, that's probably a really good way to look at it. I think we have been on a great run, but I think it's now really important we can't look back. We can look at the position we're in. How can we affect that? I think that's the biggest thing. We are in a good place. We've got players up to speed. Danny, Callum, they're now up to speed. We had Dom obviously missing with a little niggle for Saturday, so I think it was one of the first games he's missed. Hugely important player to us as well. But then that token, it's an opportunity for other players to come in and showcase themselves and tell and show them what they've got, and ask questions of me. When I make my team selection that they should be playing and they should get a chance to play.
That's probably a big ask for you and your team this weekend with the league leaders coming to Hampden, Dundee United. Yeah,
a tough one. I think I've watched the games back. I've watched obviously Dundee United against Wraith. It was a huge game for them. I thought they played really well. I thought they actually probably a little bit more direct than they have been. They also played forward early. Asked questions of Wraith. Watched a couple of the games in the past. Done fairly in their game against them as well. So what they try to do against us. So there's a lot of things. They're a good team. They're good quality players. We know that. We need to make sure we limit their chances. Make sure we can ask questions of them. I think up at Tannadice when we actually play some decent football, I think we actually caused them problems. So I think it's really important. I think if you look back to Morton, we probably didn't play our sort of style of game that we're used to playing and we've played. So I think it's really important we go back to that and make sure we try and control the ball and make sure we ask questions of their defence.
Again at Tannadice, one of the goals came from small details. There was a corner that was headed back in. So that's the things you're working on. Yeah, it's the things constantly working on. I think it's always difficult. I think every set play, every system has its positives and negatives. There has their flaws, there has their areas to expose, and I think we need to make sure we're ready and the players are switched on, because things change the game really quickly and it's always hard. Sometimes it's just a fantastic ball. I think Molt's free kick, he sticks in the stanchion back up there, and sometimes you just got to applaud that, and move on. But I think Rory
was similar, but this goalie pulls off a great save. So little things like that. But I think it's the ones where you can you affect it and can you make the players aware. So it's really important we get that right. We don't give them cheap goals. I think we make sure we have to make them work hard if they're going to score. It's got to be a wonder striker. It's got to be something pretty special.
We're at the stage of the season where a lot of players have played a lot of games. Some boys have been out for a while as well. How's the squad looking? Yeah, it's okay just now. We're probably going through a wee stage where we've got a lot of niggles. I think on Saturday a lot of boys played through the pain a little bit for us. So I think it's just trying to make sure we get them right. Make sure we look after the players that are coming back as well. It was great to see Charlie Fox getting 90 minutes in reserves. Obviously I'll talk about that in a minute, but I think great to see him back. Then what happens is you get one or two players missing, you get one or two players back. It's always the same way. So I think it's about managing them all, make sure they're ready. We've got basically huge games coming up, so I need everybody fresh and firing and ready to go, and make sure when I look at my bench I've got good changes that I can come off. I think that's been important for us in the last 2 or 3 months. That's what's got us results. It's not just the starting 11, it's the bench that got us results too. I know you watched the reserves or the B team game the other day, and Charlie, was a bit of a leading light in that game. Anyone else impress you? Yeah, I think I've been quite impressed. It's fantastic for the young boys. Obviously, I know winning the league. I think it's
it's something it's something they can be proud of. I think it's all part of their development. The league isn't the biggest league, but on the same token, you've got to win the games. And I think some of the young players what young players do, they play well. They have ups and downs. It's make sure with the younger ones they can get that sort of consistent performance. So there's a lot of good ones in there. I thought obviously Captain Ricky was fantastic. Alex Fairley, who when I came in was nearly the first team, he's had to take a step back, but now I see he's playing a sort of deeper midfield role where I think it suits him. And he's one for the future as well. So those two again were standouts on the game. Again, but it's keep that progression, keep that consistent performance, and obviously chances will come. We have niggles, so there will be opportunities for those players to come in.
And back at Hampden this weekend, bigger pitch than last weekend. Get back to playing well.
Let's hope so. I think it's we always say positive. We always disappoint with the result, but I think for us it's to try and you don't mind sometimes if you get beat, try and play the right way. And you do everything right, and sometimes you come up against a better team on the day. But I think for us it's doing it right, doing what we're good at, being good in the ball and being asked questions of their defence. And if you can do that, then hopefully we'll get a result.
Callum, all that's left to say is good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.